Good evening, beautiful people, and welcome to the Royal Festival Hall. And now, hailing from planet Leeds, make some noise for Nightmares on Wed!
Carboot Soul was a challenging album, really, because it was following the album Smoker's Delight. There's a lot of pressure. I think that inspired me to step out of my comfort zone. As a producer, I really wanted to develop more into songwriting and experimenting with song structure, like even working with vocalists and Sarah Winton and stuff, which was quite challenging because it was something new to me. Being a producer, you're always trying to push your craft forward more. I got from producing and making beats in my bedroom stroke studio to touring with a few musicians and an MC to then having a full-blown band. I had this kind of light bulb moment where I realized that I had all these amazing musicians around me. I was kind of like, well, hang on a minute, I could actually sample these musicians. I've got an endless library here. That just completely blew my mind at the time. There seems to be a note missing off that guitar riff. 1, 2, 3, and... The music that you're creating is about your journey, really an echo of where you're at. I think Hamlet Luton captures a moment in time, to have these ideas that were just flowing through me. You know, I'm working with these amazing musicians. That was like something super, super special. Even from when I first got a sampler, I was kind of always sampling loops and compiling cassettes back in the day, and then me and my friends would listen to these loops, after hours, which is how the Smoker's Delight thing actually happened. So the process with making songs for me, especially in Carboot Soul, would be that. I'd be back at somebody's house afterwards, all hanging out, or I could just be, out and about listening to them loops, and then the odd one would stick out to me, and then get inspiration and ideas from that. My journey of digging for samples is in flea markets and going to car boot sales or to second-hand stores and this, that, and the other. The reason why the album's called Carboot Soul is because I wanted to kind of depict the journey of how these songs come about. From digging for the samples, to then using the inspiration of the sample, to then creating these songs, to then mix them down in the studio and then testing them out in the car. There was this full circle. That was how the album was born, and that's how I went on this adventure of creating an album. I would say out of all my albums, in a quite unique way and in a new way for me to express myself as a producer. Songs like Ethnic Majority was a sample from a James Last track that I got from a second-hand store in Sunderland or somewhere like that after a gig. It's a German composer known as James Last. This one, Beach Party, has an amazing song on it named Washington Square. And yeah, this is the record that inspired Ethnic Majority. And I just heard this like do 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 do, and I was just like, yo, that's a wicked loop. You know, and then like, because it had such a quirky sound to it, I had Robin Taylor-Firth, my keyboardist at the time, playing an upright piano, like a pub piano, and bring that kind of old school sound into that. And then what I did, I got like Hamlet, my bass player at the time, to create the bass line I thought I could hear within the loop. It's actually not in there, because my method is really about pulling the ghost out of the sample. It's like what I think I can hear, I try to pull out, and then I'll get the musicians to kind of emphasize that. So like my guitarist at the time, Chris Dawkin, who's an amazing guitarist, we were trying to recreate the guitar riff that was in the sample, and he was really struggling with it because it had been played so badly in the track. And I'm saying, can you get it, bro? Can you get it, bro? And he was like, yeah, I can get it. He was like, it's wicked, but it's played so badly. Do you know what I mean? That I'm almost having to learn to play bad again. I think nobody should be afraid of a bit of attitude in that tune. It just seems a bit too soft and cloudy to me for that kind of tune.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? What's one bit more like,
well,
like a pub piano?
Yeah, okay, cool. There's actually...
It's interesting to reflect on it now. It's like, well, where was your head at then? What was happening then, you know? And that's why I say, like, records and music and stuff, when you write music, it's a reflection of where you're at. And that young version of me now, when I look back, I'm like wow. You know, like, there was never any doubt when it came to making the music, you know? There was never any doubt, and that I'm really proud of. It was very hard to spend time reflecting on what was happening, because it was all happening quite quickly. And you know, I was 28 years old, I was still young, and I don't think there's a lot of time at that age and in that space to be taking it all in. Then you go into countries and performing in places that wasn't even on the radar, playing at Montreux Jazz Festival, Miles Davis Hall, stuff like that, you know, like, that stuff's like, what? I'm from a council estate in Leeds. All of a sudden I'm living a life that is completely alien to what I've lived before. I'm not worrying about the things I used to worry about before.
The waters of chaos were a blessing, in fact, that brought new life. Each year, when the waters of the flood would recede, leaving, of course, the fresh minerals and nutrients in the waters, which would then cause the food to grow, and spring would be a beautiful time in Egypt. Because of the waters of chaos, they celebrated the coming of the waters of chaos, bringing the new life. They call that celebration in Egypt the Arca Noah. Not the Ark of Noah, but Arca Noah.
I don't feel 100% took enough time to appreciate how great it was. I think I probably was a little bit tough on myself in some stages of it, but I can listen to it all with pride now. Yeah, some of the testimonies I've had back, I'm like, wow. You know, you literally don't realise. You're making music, you're expressing yourself and you're doing your thing. but you don't know how far it's going. And when I say far, I don't mean value in the sense of like sales or numbers or chart positions or none of that stuff. But I mean about how far the music goes in somebody's life. And this is the sacred thing of music, man. It's just like, it never ever stops amazing me and surprising me, you know.
George's music has always really embodied how George is as a person, sort of very smiley, very steady, not in a rush. It's not particularly confrontational. It's more like you have to come to the music rather than the music comes to you, you know what I mean? You have to kind of dive in and swim around and explore it.
His music always felt like a classic, even if it was new, because it had that expertise of sampling. You know, it's just incredible music. Like, it includes everybody. It just kind of crossed all those barriers and kind of brought everyone together with a cuddle.
The greatest of art is a piece of magic. And you can't really deconstruct it, and it's really hard to figure it out. But a lot of the tracks on Carboot Soul just have, I mean, they're just magic.
He's eclectic as an artist, so I think that there's a left fieldness in the music, and there's an abstractness and a crafted look at soulful sound, drawing influences from sort of DJ and club culture.
As you get older and as you mature and you get wiser to this stuff, or the understanding that comes with it is that them magical moments in music and them moments when you're connecting with these musicians and stuff like that, you're not in the way. You're not even in the way, because all the inspiration is happening, all the connections happening, and the magic is happening. And that's the beautiful thing about this relationship to music. It's like, learn to get out of the way and allow it to happen, you know, and I can hear that in the music, you know. It kind of clicked, like, oh my God, it's the 25th anniversary, like next year, kind of thing. And it was just like, oh, we should do something. I was like, I don't want to do what I've done before. I want to do things differently. You know, I want to find new ways to do live shows with an orchestra and ask them to come up with renditions and ideas of how we could create a journey with the album. This then brought about the conversation with the Outlook Orchestra, with Tommy Evans, the MD there and stuff. And it was like, that's the perfect match, do you know what I mean? And it's always been my dream to work with an orchestra. I've worked with big bands before and string sections, stuff like that, but not like the full-blown orchestra. If you listen to N.O.W, you know, you listen to Ethnic Majority, Cap, they're big band sounds. And now it's like, well, this is the dream. This is what I've been suggesting all along. Yes, we know the record inside out. Yes, it's 25 years old. But do we want to perform it exactly the same? Or do we want to hear it in the moment in a special way? You're only ever going to hear it like this on this evening, at this time. That's it. It's never going to happen again anywhere else. And for me, as a musician, as a listener, as being involved, that's exciting. That's what I've been yearning for. Not being too tied to the studio album, do you know what I mean? But going, well, here's a body of work that we've all lived with for 25 years. How about hearing it like this? A bit of a conundrum though, because I'm not 100% about this hat.